Sveiki, norėjau pasidalinti vaizdo įrašu, kur NBA legendos rinksis savo pradinį penketą. Bet yra taisyklės, jie turi rinkti savo pradinį penketą tik nuo 1980 metų iki 1989 metų. Ir komentaruose parašykite savo sukurtą penketą.
Johnson over Parrish. He hits it. Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
I can just say, who was the best point guard of the 1980s, Isaiah?
Come on, Zeke. Say yourself, Zeke. Say yourself, Zeke.
No, honestly, I will have to say Magic Johnson. I believe I was the second best point guard of that era. But Magic Johnson was the best point guard, in my opinion, to ever play. And my five, if you want the five.
Yes, I do, of course.
So I'm going Magic at the 1, Jordan at the 2, Bird, J, Dr. J at 3 and 4, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the 5. Those are my 5 players of the 80s.
3D, how does that sound? How does that sound to you?
Quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Given that you,
But-
I just want to say, given
But
that
I
you-
was better than Magic.
I mean,
I know.
that Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas, I don't think on this panel that anybody's going to have anybody else to really discuss when we're
No.
talking about the best of that decade. But for you, Isaiah, who are guys, just quick off the top of your head, that you compete against at the point guard that you felt you guys were so great that just didn't get their just due?
I would say in the 80s, for a short period of time, I thought Mark Price had a run in this league for about 2 years or so that was just about as good as anybody. Definitely Mo Cheeks, Gus Williams.
I have one for you.
Tiny Archibald was still,
DJ?
at his,
Dennis?
Dennis?
Yeah, but saying all that,
There was 2.
none of them were like Magic.
Right.
None of us.
Or you.
None of us were like Magic. And the reason why I say that is because in the 80s, I thought we came in and we had original styles. You know, we brought originality to the game. Magic came in and it was like something we had never seen.
That's right.
I thought when I came in, the way I was playing the point guard and the way I was dribbling and moving, it was a different style that the game hadn't seen before. Dr. J was an original. You know, Kareem was an original. So it's like, to me, when you look at the 80s and I look at Jordan, like it was like when he walked in, it was like, damn.
Is he for real?
Well, you. Okay, I remember when we first played against him. It was the Olympic.
Oh yeah.
The Olympic
84.
team
Right.
in
84.
'84 in Phoenix, and they was doing the pros coming to play against
The Olympic team.
the Olympic
Yep.
team. And I remember Coach Knight saying, Coach Knight was coaching him. He said, "This one a little different now." That's what the old school coach. This one a little different now. And so in Phoenix it was hot in the summer, and you watch guys dunking and everything, but he had a different kind of bounce. Jumping and dunking, and I was like, okay, all right, that's kind of nice. And then the game started, and this dude was so fast and so quick. He was like, wait.
It's a PG show. It's a PG-13 show, Coach.
But some curse words are necessary for description.
That's when television and basketball really took off.
Yeah.
You had the Lakers, you had the 80s, you had the floppy hair of Larry Bird, you had the style and grace and flair of Showtime and Magic, and then you had Isaiah and his Bad Boys. And before they were the Bad Boys, I mean, they were putting up 135 points with him and Kelly Tripucka and guys like that, John Long. My mentor, so that's when the 80s, and for a lot of us, okay.
Let me clarify this for the youngsters on the panel. Yeah, Jordan was a great player in the 80s, but they were finishing 3rd and 4th in the division.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, so I know all y'all watching want to say, oh, Jordan he was great in the 90s.
Yes.
He dominated
Yes.
in the 90s.
Yes.
But in the 80s, he was out in the first round.
Right. And that era for me was
That's all I got to say.
but to answer all that message. That era was the first to me the wow era. When you went at each position, each guy you said wow. Even when you got down to Larry Bird, who wasn't that athletic. Hey,
No, you go
Rook,
wow.
Hey, Rook,
You wow,
get ready.
wow.
Make this move, pump fake, and score on you. You make the move.
You wow.
Don't have a seat. But that was the point, that
You
each
wowing.
position you wowed in that era.
Go ahead.
You know, and that was the time, I mean, for me, when I fell in love with the game. And you know, for me, you know, first of all, the four greatest that I ever saw in person were Isaiah, Magic, Michael, and Bird. And as you said, Reggie, as television merged, as these great transcendent players emerged, it just was a perfect storm that I think we really owe the success of this league to that time. I got a chance to be able to talk, touch, and play against Isaiah and Magic. And you talking about debated back in Michigan, who's the better point guard? I think that debate went from nationwide and still goes on. Those were two guys, similar built, similar places growing up, one from inner city in Chicago, one from Lansing. So for me, being right there in Detroit, I thought it was a rite of passage. I could walk up to Isaiah, ask him a question, and he showed me a move.
Right.
I thought everybody could do that. I could walk up to Magic, and he could teach me how to play. I could walk up to George Gervin at almost every recreation center in St. Cecilia, and they stopped their workout and take a young guy. I was very young, and I could go play 2-on-2. Me and Magic versus you and Aguirre.
Right.
I thought everybody had that. I had no, not knowing, but what those two guys did. And I think for me, obviously, is Michael at the 2, Larry Bird at the 3. I have Charles at the 4 and Moses at the 5.
Yeah, I was going to say we
forget all
you can
around
look at-
amount of rebound.
Yeah, you can look at this decade and you can list guys, okay, who do not make my starting 5 and say, "Ooh, that's a pretty good starting 5 right there." I mean, and you bring up Charles, you think about Kevin McHale, you talk about Karl Malone, you talk about the late great Moses, and let's center on the power forward position.
Moses is my 4, Kareem is my 5. And I got the same as him. Larry
Well,
Bird.
you just get to change. Y'all get to change in position.
I'm going with best 5.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Get
need
your
to do.
5, and I'll go
Don't
with
even
my
call
5.
it 4 or 5.
I'm going with Magic, Michael, Larry, Moses, Kareem.
So the 80s, unbelievable decade.